Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm Heather Knibble, an acreage owner outside of Traer. I'm speaking today on behalf of the Tama County Against Turbines Coalition. Wanted to start out with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., as we know that is today. So the time is always right to do what is right. So as you have all made it clear, your attorney, Carlton Sammons, has advised you not to update the wind ordinances, nor let the zoning commission meet. I would instead like to discuss large-scale solar today. Solar energy is fueled by the sunlight and is made up of panels that use the sunlight to make electricity. Several people have solar panels on their roof or in their backyard. This is a great way to help power your home and save on your electricity bill. Tama County does have a solar ordinance that was added in 2018. It only applies to small-scale personal solar though. It does not apply to large industrial solar projects. There is currently lots of controversy around these type of large-scale solar projects. These projects take a lot of land out of production, far more than industrial wind turbines do. Entire fields get filled with solar panels and therefore cannot be farmed. They go from agriculture to industrial. As you can imagine, solar panels are dependent on the weather. If it's cloudy, rainy, or nighttime, the efficiency is not good. Solar energy storage, such as battery storage, can be very expensive and could also be dangerous. Solar panels have been associated with pollution during decommissioning, as well as hazardous chemicals are used to produce some of the panels. Some contain hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, acetone, 1,1,1-trichloroethane, and hydrogen fluoride, all of which are detrimental to humans and the environment if handled or discarded improperly. Linn County, Iowa Board of Supervisors approved 3 industrial solar projects near Palo and Coggin in the last few years. This has caused an immense amount of pushback from neighboring landowners. The public hearing for approval was 3+ hours long. The Linn County Supervisors voted 2-1 last year to approve the Dwayne Arnold Solar Project. The project will have a capacity of up to 200 megawatts of energy and 75 megawatts of battery storage. The project in the latest approval leased 3,500 acres. And again, when they're leasing it, the entire thing is going to be solar panels. It's not an acre or two for turbines, that's a turbine and an access road. Solar panels can be 300 foot away from a non-participating landowner's dwelling and 50 to 80 foot from a non-participating landowner's property line for that specific project. Solar panels can get very hot and have in some cases started on fire. How would you like a field full of solar panels that close to your house? After approving the 3 projects and seeing all of the pushbacks and concerns, the Linn County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously on a 3-month moratorium on utility scale solar installations to stop any more projects from being approved. They realized they needed time to review their ordinance. This was just extended to March of 2023. So now they're at a 6-month moratorium. We can learn from Linn County as they update their ordinance. Butler County, Iowa just updated their ordinances October of last year, including wind and solar. Their planning and zoning held a public hearing, recommended the ordinance after it was approved that same day, and the 3 Board of Supervisors held 3 public hearings where they voted 3-0 to approve the new ordinance. They understood the need to listen to the people and protect people, prime farmland, and wildlife, as well as livestock. They have sections in the ordinance to address small solar energy facilities as well as large 50 kilowatt or greater. For the large solar energy facilities, they have very good language around it. Initial project meeting is needed, a public information meeting sponsored by the developer where the whole county is invited, decommissioning plan, height requirements, because yes, even though solar solar panels are low, to know how far off the ground, how high they can go, it all makes a difference. Setbacks to non-participants, and requirements for the developer on how it would ever be transferred to another company if they would sell it. Several Iowa counties have been caught off guard on these large solar energy facilities. Not many even have an ordinance that includes it. So we need a moratorium as soon as possible in Tama County to protect our county and prime farmland from industrial solar projects and developers. As we've all heard in the past, there is a TED Renewables that's coming around and they're asking for 40, 80, several acres at once in Tama County. So we do have a current threat of this going on. So my question today is, will you three gentlemen today, as supervisors, vote to approve a moratorium on large-scale solar projects in Tama County? So this is not wind-related, large-scale solar. Would you guys take a vote today?
I wouldn't take a vote today,
Not
but I would
today.
certainly look at it.
Would you add it to next week's agenda?
We're gonna have to discuss it first.
We need to get through where we're at now. We don't need to start something else. It's my opinion.
What do you guys think?
I mean, I'd like to discuss it with these guys too, but I definitely do not want that to happen.
Right.
So as far as voting on, I don't know what, I'm the newbie here, I don't know what to say.
Right.
I would vote on it, I guess, because I know what my brain is thinking, but that's just me.
Yep. So one thing I know, there's obviously been the letter that's been sent to you guys, you know, of a moratorium or wind ordinance, but it does not include solar. And I know in the public meetings, such as I believe it was the public zoning hearing, the wind company and their attorney, they specifically said we are not looking to do solar in Tama County. So my ask to you guys would be to go to Carlton. I know he's the one that's been advising you guys. Ask if zoning can get together to discuss a solar moratorium. And this would be industrial. You know, the ones in your house, the individual ones, sit behind your shop, those are fine. But if you guys want a win for this county and you know you're not gonna get sued, you know, obviously check and make sure. But I strongly, strongly pray and ask that you guys at least look at industrial solar and see if we can do a moratorium on that.
I wouldn't have any trouble looking at it.
Yep.
And down the road, but not tomorrow or not next week.
What are you guys saying? I'm trying to understand why not. If the only reason to not do a moratorium on wind is the threat of the lawsuit, if there's no threat of lawsuit, what's the reason not to?
My reason is there hasn't been anybody come in here and talk anything about solar.
Oh, no, that's not
The only
true.
thing I've heard,
In here, you mean to the supervisor?
Nobody
Always
was
come
coming
in
here.
here.
I
just say
I understand
they
that.
wanna have a solar project
Right.
here down.
I know Bill,
They wanted to, I've been approached to put solar on the whole farm.
Okay,
I think Bill said it last week, you know, if there's people out there doing this before they ask us, they don't stand a chance in hell.
no, it's not, you know.
They need to come to us first before they bother you guys. So
Right.
they're going about it wrong.
But I'd certainly look at anything, after we get through this Salt Creek project, I'll just say, I'll look at, if there was another project like solar or Apex, I'd certainly look at those things.
So you're saying you won't look at it for several years?
I
Because,
didn't say that.
phase
Don't put
1 and
words in my
2
mouth.
is-
I didn't say that.
but you're meaning until, which project's completed? Phase 1? Proposed phase
Let's
2.
get down the road here with where we're at. That's my opinion, but I'm gonna tell you right now, down the road, if there's another wind project over in the Apex area, we wanna look at it, I wouldn't have any problem with that. If we wanna look at solar, I think we should, I wouldn't have any problem with that. But I'm not gonna tell you, I'm gonna do it next week.
You mean a moratorium or to look at approving them?
Look at approving it and possibly moratorium. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, because number one, haven't even talked to these people.
Right.
All I've heard is what you folks have said.
Well, you wouldn't need to talk to the people. We could set a moratorium to prevent people from even looking and spending their time to come into our
Right.
They're not gonna start something without coming here sometime. Apex came here, Salt Creek came here, and they'll come here.
But
That's
then,
my
but
opinion.
then what happens? I mean, they show up and they say, hey, we got this land lease, can we do it? I mean, then you guys are okay with, okay, they've already done all this work, now we'll put a moratorium, like, my thought is why not do the moratorium now and let the zoning meet? So again, I'm gonna hand out to each of you guys, I have a Butler County one that they just updated in October of last year. And it specifically talks about, you know, having these initial meetings. So initial project meeting with zoning administrator, county engineer, and county attorney to identify the proposed scope. And then it also talks about like getting safety instruction manuals, models, types. And then the next one would be a public information meeting sponsored by the developer. So this would be in the newspaper, it'd be a half-page ad, there'd be mailers sent out to people in the area, so I know there's a lot of, I guess, drama, or there's been frustration with the turbine situation, but can we at least think about, like, go back and think about, I'm not saying do this today, but if we think there's a need and read through what I give you here, look at our ordinances, look at this, is this something we could say zoning, you know, let's let them meet only to talk solar. That shouldn't be against the rules, you shouldn't get sued, let's just start the process. Cause it might take time, like, there's a lot of counties that don't even have it, like Butler just got it, and I think there's one in Illinois, but a lot of people don't even have this, and we don't wanna just be caught off guard, right? Where all of a sudden, like, hey, it's here, what do we do now? And then if somehow it gets approved, then we're in trouble, so.
Well, if they come, you know, there has to be public hearings. You know, if they
Right.
come, you know, so that's
Right.
gonna be the first place where you wanna voice your opinion.
For sure. Yep. Nope, just something to consider also, Brett.
I think we'll consider, I mean, I'll certainly consider anything
Okay.
after the Salt Creek's approved.
With the extension on the Salt Creek building permits though, that could be like a whole nother year plus, right? So,
You'll have those, you'll have public information meetings prior to that, but if there's going to be solar, there'll be meetings. I mean, they're not gonna just come here and say, we're gonna do this here. That's my opinion. If I'm wrong, tell me.
And I think Brent would be another good resource. I know in the past he hasn't really been used, but Brent's job and why taxpayers elect him is to give you guys advice as well. So, if Carlton won't give advice, I think Brent would also be a good resource in this topic, just to see if it's something that we could get, so. Trying to find a win for the county, so I know we've been here for several months, and I think it's something, if you're not getting a lot of, hey, I want this, people in favor of it, why not at least let zoning meet and get this updated?
Yeah. You know my opinion, so.
Yep.
But I'm certainly not gonna shut the door and say,
Yep.
no, absolutely not.
So Bill and Kurt, if you could also give your opinion, think on it, talk on it, but I'll hand this out to you.
I'll
Take a-
give you all my opinion.
So then we got Bill, what do you think here, Bill?
I wanna do some talking between all of us
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
before I do anything.
I want to ask
And
you guys.
Butler County Supervisors, I've heard are very good to work with, there's 3 of them, you can call any of them at any point.
Who?
Butler County, Iowa, they're just 2 counties north of here, they'd be a really good resource to talk to on any of this, like I said, they did just win Ian Solar here October, just, you know, boom, 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 within like, they had all their public hearings just stacked up, no issues, everybody was fine, so.
Do they have people up there wanting to build solar?
It's a good question. I know there's some pipeline controversy, which the pipeline thing, I'm not sure how that all works. If that's, I think that's more state regulated, isn't it?
It's that
That's
carbon.
Yeah, but isn't,
Pipeline it.
I don't know if the county has, I think you get partial maybe jurisdiction, but I think state can kinda override some of that, but I know they had that. I do not know, I know Grundy was looking at more turbines and Grundy Butler, I think it was kinda right on that line. And so they had a group that worked on both Grundy and Butler, cause Grundy's close to getting their ordinances updated as well. And it's fairly similar language on the solar in Grundy's too.
But you don't know that they're being approached. and you
I
don't
do not
if they've
know.
had
I can
public
find out
hearings.
though.
You don't know if they've done all that, it's just kinda more, kinda like, well, if they come,
Right.
this is what we're gonna
It's,
do.
yeah, like a lot of counties are doing it before they get there, like, let's protect us before, because it's a lot harder conversation if you got a company that's sitting in here saying, guys, come on, I already got 3,500 acres. I got the farmers. It's gonna make you guys feel like, well, shit, like I need to do this now, you know, because they've already done all this. You know, they may say we've spent 6 months doing it, and so it's an area to protect you guys from being in a hard situation too. If you guys all, or at least 2 out of you agree, you know, this would be a good thing, let's find a win for the county. You know, I know, like I said, make sure you're good with, you know, Carlton and that letter that had come out, but just would be a huge win for the county. I wanna see you guys get some wins. It'll help build the morale around the county, and I think it would be really good, so. Thank you guys, and
Thank you.
let me know if you get questions, or call Butler County as well, so. I'll also send the ordinances to zoning, so if you guys get to where Carlton will let them meet, I think it would be good. I don't think it would take, but again, they're probably gonna need a moratorium, because there's just not many counties that have, solar ordinances. It's a fairly new thing where they're throwing up these huge farms with it, so.
We'll talk.